issue with the link? I didn't have
I
any
mean,
trouble.
I'm not blaming the link. It's very likely something different. But I know usually I'm able to get right in, and it was giving me some issues, and that's why I jumped over onto my phone. And why I was a couple minutes late. But it looks like a small group of us. We only really had three main points, and I think one of those main points has been thoroughly discussed among those of us here on this call, and that's the convention. So just for those who listen in after the call, this is our first statewide meeting after this year's convention. There's been a number of videos shared and a blog post created to share what was accomplished. Thanks again for all the hard work in putting on the convention and all the financial support for those who contributed to help make it happen, both through their efforts and financially. It was great to have everyone together. We were able to accomplish the things that we needed to from the business aspect in the morning. I gratefully or graciously accepts the role of continuing to serve as chairman. Thanks, Brian. Yeah. Wait till you move back into the state. But since that time, I have asked Jack Merritt to continue serving as treasurer, and that was confirmed at our last leadership meeting. So he'll be continuing on in that role. There was a number of other bylaw amendments that have been adopted, and those are all, I believe, available for review in the blog. So please reference that in the website. Thanks again to the guests that came to help the conversation as far as pro-democracy here in Pennsylvania. We had a guest from March on Harrisburg and from Fair Districts PA. Really appreciate their time and the conversation that spurred. And I think it's important that we continue to keep a focus on things such as voting reform and anti-corruption measures, and making sure that we consider how can we move forward with all of those, and how do those conversations tie into the affiliation agreement that we have with a number of candidates that affiliate or run as foreign party candidates. So it's great to always keep in mind what our other organizations across the state are doing, and I'm thankful for them to be part of things. Beyond the convention, was there any other announcements or things that, I mean, please reference the YouTube videos. There's some great videos. Thank you, Peter, for your work in recording the convention and helping to make that shareable. And specifically, I know I did a great thanks to everyone, but Ben, for your leadership in helping put the convention together, both from an effort standpoint and financially. I appreciate everything that you did, and was very grateful for what came together there. Were there any other announcements before we move beyond the convention, Peter?
Yeah, I have a lot of still photographs as well that I gave a link to the people who presumably can use them, but I'm happy to send it to anybody. There must be 50 pictures of that I've carefully processed and labeled.
Great. Yes. Some great photographs, some great video, and certainly appreciate all your work with that. And hopefully the comms team or anyone else, if you have a need to create flyers or media posts, there's a great opportunity to utilize those pictures.
Well, what we really need is the webmaster. This is our, in addition to signatures, we still don't have much. At least last time I looked, our website is very minimal.
Yeah, it's certainly a work in progress, and appreciate all the work that Gus has put in and getting it as far as it is. And I think there's some conversations ongoing about how to add some additional content and utilize some of the pictures. Right now, I believe he's still overseas. He had actually made the trip over the pond to catch the Phillies in the baseball game over there. That's one of his big pastimes, is to be able to catch road baseball games. So he didn't miss the opportunity to take in London, and glad to see him be able to take that trip in. So,
Baseball in England?
yes, this is one of those just special one-off events, much like the NFL had done in the past. They had a
Right.
Major League Baseball game over there. To give people, expatriates as well as some of the locals over there, a taste of American pastime.
When I was
So,
studying there, and they they thought it was really funny to have us try and play cricket when we're used to baseball.
yes, yes. So, the second thing I wanted to go to, leaving signatures for the third, was a major announcement that's going to be coming up next Monday. So please, anyone in the Western Pennsylvania or Southwestern Pennsylvania, we're going to be out in Robinson near the airport. And I shared that address in details with a few people earlier today. Since I'm on my phone, it's hard for me to read that and still continue talking to everyone. If somebody else might be able to copy and chat that, or copy and paste that into the chat. We'll be sharing this out through an email as well, with an invitation, but would love to have some people join. Andrew Yang will be in town for this special announcement. We have another Forward Party affiliate that's going to be joining the ranks, and we're very excited to welcome this candidate, and excited to have people join us in that welcome and helping to promote what that means. And again, that the Forward Party affiliation is more than just an endorsement. You know, there's certain things that we ask for our candidates and affiliates to agree to, which include those anti-corruption and pro-democracy reform. Beyond that, we're looking to stay out of their way. We're not prescriptive. We don't want to tell people what policies they stand for, but we want to make sure that values are respected, including the anti-corruption, pro-democracy foundation. So we're excited to add another name to our ranks, and can't wait for that to be public, and that'll be happening next Monday. And anyone who may be able to join us, we'd welcome you to come out to that address. I think Brian put it in the chat. And again, there will be an email coming out. Please share and invite others who you might know who live in this area to come and join us. So lastly, and I know this conversation was touched on earlier, even before we started the meeting officially, and this is our most important work for now and really of the year. We were excited to welcome our statewide candidates. We also have some local candidates, and to be able to get those candidates on the ballot and really make sure that we have the opportunity to lock in that state party minor state party status. It requires signatures. We need 2,500 valid signatures. And to have 2,500 valid means that we need to shoot for having at least 5,000. We will have challengers. I mean, we've seen this, there's a independent candidate for president that's been turning in 3 times as many required signatures and still is facing challenges. Now there's a higher level of battle that's engaged there, but you can expect that same type of resistance to happen with our candidates. I mean, it's best for us to anticipate that and try to plan for that, as opposed to just being surprised. So being able to put a plan together, and what that means is engaging more people to help us with getting signatures. Certainly, we all need to find what ways we can contribute, whether that's reaching out to people that we know, neighbors, family members. But the more people we can engage to help gather those signatures, the better off we're going to do. And I know, David, I don't know if you're in a place to talk or if you're willing to talk, but your testimony in Black was great. I know it's stepping outside of your comfort zone. I don't know if you're willing or able to share your story, if you'd mind me sharing it with, but I thought I love hearing what people's pitch. All of our pitches are going to be a little bit different. And to hear that you were willing to step out of your comfort zone and that you've refined a pitch that was successful for you or helped you engage people, I was real excited to hear. Would you mind sharing your experience?
I'm not sure what specifically you wanted to hear. in a nutshell, there was a Gettysburg Festival put on by the library system called Fun Fest. And that seems to be a good environment in which to catch people because they're just milling around. They're sometimes more receptive to being approached than when they're out on the street and they don't know who you are. It's an environment where people are used to being talked to by strangers. And I tried to look for people who were maybe standing around waiting for a spouse, watching their kids play on the playground. Tried to look out for people who didn't really seem like they were in the middle of anything. And of course, I also approached the people at the booths, but that often wasn't as productive as just looking for the the board millers. And I'm not sure what else you might have wanted me to say, Christian. Was there a particular reason you
Well,
asked?
well, no, one of the things that you talked about was, really talking about the mission of Forward rather than just the candidates. I thought that that's, for some, you're going to find it more comfortable, or you're going to find better engagement talking about the candidates, but you can approach it either way. And I think it's important to recognize, the overall goal here of giving people more choices, and helping to call out the dissatisfaction that exists. If you want more choices, if you don't think politics are working, we're asking for your signature. And one of the things you wrote that I thought was great was not thanking them for, how did you frame your thank you?
Said thank you for your help
Thank you
instead
for
of
your
thank
help.
you for your support. Because
Right.
I recognize that for some people, they may not want to be considered a supporter, but on principle, they might sign just because they think everybody deserves a chance or they want to be nice. Um, but I've tried to frame everything in the most positive way possible because I know that for the most part, this is the first encounter that these people will even have with the idea of the Forward Party. So I tried to be gracious, tried to really emphasize the um, election reforms, ranked choice voting, open primaries, because to some extent I'm projecting my own preferences, but for me, those are the things that really have me engage with the Forward Party. When I was younger, I think like a lot of young guys, I found the Libertarian Party appealing. But I'm at a point now where I really don't think any third party is going to accomplish much unless we accomplish some structural change to the system itself. And that's what actually makes me interested in the Forward Party. So that's the thing that I am naturally most inclined to project to other people. I almost can anticipate the reaction of third parties don't have a chance, or third parties are just spoilers. So in my head, I'm always trying to get out ahead of that and essentially trying to say, no, 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 wait, the Forward Party, it's different. It's a new
Yeah.
party. They're the anti-party party. They're pushing for reforms like open primaries so everybody can vote and ranked choice voting so that there's no spoiler effect and the best candidate can win. Trying to immediately get out ahead. And another selling point I tried to get out early in the pitch was that they're willing to work with Republicans and Democrats if those people are willing to make things better for everyone and not lean into the kind of toxic rhetoric that we've seen so much. And there were some people who really, really reacted to that and said, "Oh, yeah, I'm so sick of all that." So,
Yeah, great, great. Well, thank you for your work and appreciate you stepping outside of your comfort zone. The one last thing, and Bob, you beat me to it putting your hand up because I was going to call on you anyway. But the using the back of the clipboard, I think you said that you put something on the back to make sure people could see Forward, or you could show them what it was and help direct them. And I think that using that back of the clipboard is such a great idea and helps to really connect with people. Bob, tell
I
us
would
about your
approach.
experience. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave. Comment on that.
I had the sign. I actually picked it up at the convention. That's the "not left, not right, forward" slogan. So I approached them holding that up when I said, "Would you consider signing a petition for ballot access?" And when they looked at me confused, then I would turn it around and show the petition and explain a candidate needs 2,500 signatures to get on the ballot in Pennsylvania. I started um, showing that earlier because people were confused about what I was doing. It seemed to help if I actually would turn the ballot paper around and show the signatures and explain they need these hundreds of signatures to get on the ballot. I just
Great.
remembered an interesting conversation I had. One person I approached said, "I'll sign yours if you sign mine." And she was actually collecting signatures for a libertarian candidate. We connected a little bit over the fact that I used to be more invested in the Libertarian Party and it kind of hopped forward. Um, I just thought as you were talking, would there be any possibility of trying to coordinate with some of the other third parties that are gathering signatures to gather signatures together, maybe help each other?
So, yes, and we have to be careful about if they're running for the same office. So you can sign one nomination paper per office.
Oh,
So,
that's interesting.
and there is some debate over whether or not that's interpreted that way. I've heard it interpreted yes or no on that, but my interpretation when I read it personally was you can only sign one nomination paper per office. Some people might say that you could sign more than one or that wouldn't be caught, but as long as it's for a different office, that we've already had some of that coordination going on when we've worked with others. And certainly, you know, if you see a signature gathering event going on for someone else, whether that be at the top of the ticket or another Pennsylvania office, to show up and respectfully, and I mean, what if it's a public event, we could just be there anyway. But to be respectful to the other people there and say, hey, I'm actually collecting signatures too. I got something else going on. Do you mind if I hang around with you? Or stay in the same area? Would you prefer me to be somewhere else? You know, it can often be very helpful to have people working on different petitions in the same place. You can certainly play off of each other and help each other out. So,
Interesting.
Bob, you're on mute if you're talking there, Bob.
Okay, I'm unmuted now.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
gonna say, hey, that shirt looks sharp. So I was gonna say it helps to have a shirt and a sign around where you have a table with the petition, and you tell people I'm with Forward Party and we're trying to get on the ballot. Is that the right thing I should say? On the ballot, so we can get our
Mhm.
candidate, on the ballot, and that's what it is. I haven't had too much luck, but I've gotten some. I've gotten some. Say, you know. So, yeah.
Well, there's going to be a couple opportunities in Western Pennsylvania soon.
Yeah.
I think not this upcoming Friday, but a week from Friday is one of the Fridays on 5th in New Kensington, and they get thousands of people down there. If anybody
Okay.
wants to come and join me, I would love to have some other people and we can have some fun collecting signatures there that same
Okay.
weekend. And I think John is part of the Greek church in Oakmont, and it's their
Yes,
Greek
and I'm
food
going to
festival
that one.
weekend.
I'm going to that one.
And so I think that's also on Friday. So there's a chance of being there instead. But also on Saturday, we were really looking to get some people together and collect signatures on Saturday.
This coming Saturday.
It's also not this weekend, the following weekend. So that last weekend of June. So, and then also the 4th of July in Pittsburgh is always a great gathering event downtown for anyone who wants to. And you know, it certainly seems to be a great way to invite people out. Or we've had a lot of get-togethers over the last 2 years where it was just a social, let's grab a beer or a coffee and chit chat.
Are you kidding me?
These are opportunities to.
Oh, no, this is
invite-
not right. This is not right.
What's wrong, Nancy?
I can't get on this call. I don't know. I don't understand what the problem is to get on a call.
You're on.
We're
Well,
on it.
it took me about 20 minutes to get on it. So
Okay.
Well, sorry for whatever
Nancy.
technical troubles that
Yeah.
was.
Nancy, sorry,
You're
yeah,
on.
I do think some people are having trouble. I'm trying to figure out what the issue seems to be.
Yeah. It's not clear where you click on it. I had to play a guessing game on where to click on it to make this happen.
Okay, well, I'm trying to reach out to people and try and make it easier, but I'm not getting much.
Bob, did you go through the email about the call that came today or?
Yes, I did. And what happens is it says join us now or join us later. I don't know. I had to click on everything
Yeah,
until finally it worked.
it's in bold black lettering, but isn't clearly a
Yeah,
button.
but there's several things in bold black lettering.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Bob. I also struggled to figure if there was a
If
different
I
format.
knew how to do a website, I would. I wonder if I should learn how to do one. If it would help, I don't know how hard it is, but I'm willing to learn how to do it if need be.
Yeah.
For
It would be
future
unreasonable.
ones, Brian, I would have join here and also under the drop one line down and also include within the hyperlink the actual hyperlink address so that people know that it's a link.
Oh, and before I get off, I know John is on, and John, I want you to tell me why, as a voter, I should vote for you instead of Joe McAndrew. I want you to have an answer ready, okay? So I'm talking to him with that. I can get off now.
You don't need to get off.
Okay.
So I know John often joins us from the road driving truck. I'm not sure if he's able to respond right now to that, but I think it's a
Okay,
great,
but I
that's
hope he
absolutely
heard.
something
Maybe
we
he
need to be able
heard
to
me.
answer.
I'm hoping he heard me. Because he was just at my house and I told him I want,
Yes.
tell me why I should vote for you instead of Joe McAndrew. We're going to start now with the answers.
Does anyone else want to share any strategies or positive testimonials about doing some signature gathering or ideas to get some people together and engaged?
We may or may not have another we might have some news coming up in the next couple of days. Don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we'll see.
But we're gonna need to reach out to other people as we're gathering signatures, or as you look through your Rolodex, or to your neighbors, your friends, your family. We need to find more people to help us with gathering signatures. We need to set up some localized events where we can invite people to join us. If we have a meeting location and say, we're gonna put an hour or 2 hours in, can you join us for this signature gathering event? Whether that be in a public space or to walk a street and walk sides on a street. But as we engage more people, it's gonna give us an opportunity to tackle bigger things. One of the things that we're considering, I think this is what Ben's referencing, is the Big Butler Fair. It's a lot of days, a lot of people. There would be a lot of shifts available for people to sit and engage with people. But we would need to be able to man the booth, to be there and be present, to take advantage, because some of the bigger fairs, like the Big Butler Fair, there's actually an investment for being there. So again, just being able to invite more people into that. That's where I put more of my energies in these early days. I plan on hitting the street with my clipboard a little bit more. I think I'm only at about 25 or 30 signatures personally, but I have 4 people that I've recruited that are helping to collect signatures, and I haven't gotten the reports of what they've gotten. But I've been more focused in meeting and engaging people and equipping them with a clipboard and papers and helping them join the fight. And also, as these events that I have locally come up, I can have people that I can say, hey, are you able to meet me? Can you join me? Because this is a great opportunity and we can have some fun doing it if we have people to do it with. So I know Jeff has been great at getting signatures. I'm sure him not being on this call, it's likely he's prioritized getting signatures over taking the time to be on the call. Or he may have had a different conflict, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear that be his answer as to why he's not with us tonight. He feels more comfortable getting signatures personally as opposed to recruiting people. But if we grow the number of people that have these sheets and have these clipboards and are willing to talk, and once we get people to get those first handful of signatures, it becomes a lot less intimidating. It becomes a lot more comfortable, especially when you get somebody who says, thank you. I'm so frustrated with politics. It's great to know somebody's out there working on this. It feels good. And, you know, once you get a handful of signatures, one of those people likely is gonna respond with one of those very positive responses. And that's definitely what it takes to feel good about it, so. All right, anything else, Bob?
I just wanted to say, it helps if you tell them we're not running a presidential candidate. We're all doing all local and state. So we have a chance. It's not like the other ones always ran a presidential candidate, and we're not going to do that. So it
Let's
might
hope
help to
they
say that too.
because then people won't think you're spoiling.
Right. That's a great point, Bob and Peter, and it goes beyond just that, because not only do we have some great candidates that maybe really do stand a chance, but our goal isn't just getting them in office. Getting 2% of the vote is gonna open up opportunities for people next year where there's local elections. So there's a bigger opportunity than just winning this election. If people are frustrated where they don't see somebody who represents them well when there's unopposed elections, or they can't choose even when there is somebody running on both major parties, we're helping to open that door and give people additional choices.
I agree. I also tried to emphasize if I had a moment, I would say what they need now is these signatures to get on the ballot. And then if they get 2% of the vote in November, they'll get recognized as a minor party, and that helps them with their other goals. I tried to emphasize that because I know people are so cynical, rightfully so, about third parties. They know that they almost can't win. So I really tried to stress that we're not delusional. We have a plan. It's attainable, and it's not what you may expect.
That's great.
Yeah, I mentioned this before as well, that, to mention, while we hope you'll vote for them, signing this petition does not obligate you to vote for them. You're just supporting everyone's chance to be on the ballot and run. So you don't feel, we hope you'll consider voting for them, but this is not the same as actually signing your vote for someone, promising to vote for someone, which sometimes takes, the pressure off.
Great point. And one of the other things that I want to clarify, if someone signed a petition paper for one of the major candidates back in the primary, that does not preclude them from signing a nomination paper. The primary is a different election. That election already took place. The papers that we have them sign for the nomination papers is for the general election. So even if they signed a petition paper for the primary, they can sign for an attorney general or treasurer for the general election. All right. Well, there's no any team reports or anything outside of the 3 points before we wrap up the meeting? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I know everyone puts in a lot of time with the different committees and different team reports. We got a lot of work ahead of us with these signatures. Please think about who you might be able to reach out to and invite into that signature gathering effort. And thank you for all that everyone's doing.
I had a question, sorry. So
Yeah.
I think most people on this call at least know that we have a Slack channel that we use pretty often. It has occurred to me that is a public Slack channel. Like when we give people permission to be on there, all we're really doing is giving them an invite to come look it up and join it. So I was wondering if anybody had any thoughts on making that more available, like, including that in broad emails, if we were to just, say to anybody that reads our emails, hey, join our Slack channel to have more of a conversation. Would anyone have thoughts on that?
I think we'd have to be more careful with what conversations happening and what channel, like maybe label one public, because I do think we have side conversations about things we might not want public.
And for example, there's this event next Monday that we're not permitted to reveal the person quite yet. But I also think higher engagement and including more voices and getting better feedback is a great idea. So that's what the different channels are for. And as long as we're careful about how that any information that needs to be a little more private is on the right channel, I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wonder if Nick has the story about perhaps he may just be late, but if he also had trouble with the link, I'd like to know maybe what the trouble was.
Yeah, Nick, thanks for joining. Were you having trouble joining or you were just running late?
No, no, I was just late. I just
Oh,
I just
okay.
forgot.
Yeah. I didn't mean to put you on the
Yeah,
spot.
no.
There's been some technical difficulties.
Yeah, there were some various people that were having some technical difficulty tonight. That's what we were asking.
Yeah.
But we are just getting ready to wrap up. Nick, do you have any stories to share with your signature gathering efforts before we wrap up this call? Have you had an opportunity to invite people or engage with anyone yet?
I have actually been in Seattle with my fiance the last 2 weeks, so I have not had the
Hey.
opportunity to.
Well,
Yeah,
we are not going to accept any of your signatures that you gathered in Seattle, unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. All of my evangelizing around around the state of Washington. I'd have to talk to the local party about that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to reconnecting with the things that are happening here in Western Pennsylvania. Thank you, everyone who joined
Yeah.
the call tonight, and look forward to getting to work and continue with these signatures. And John, certainly looking forward to. I've got a couple neighbors, a couple of people that did not agree to pass petitions, but agreed to maybe walk with me in their neighborhoods that are specifically in their district, up in Logan's Ferry and Hunter Creek, is it, or Rustic Ridge, I believe. So, and up on the Sardis Road and a couple different areas. So we'll be hitting the pavement there real soon. All right. Have a good night,
Chris.
everyone.
Chris.
Yes,
Could I get you on the line for a little bit after you, after everybody leaves,
sure,
short conversation?
sure. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.